Woo! Holy sh! Hi, welcome back to Amok Time Flies. Now today I'm going to be going through the Mini 3 Pro, the Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3 and what it's like to own them and just the general feel for them. I'm not going to be going into loads and loads of detail, but just in case I do miss out on anything, I will have Amok Time in the studio interrupting from time to time.
You don't know what you're doing, do you?
Yes, I do.
You don't plan these things, do you?
Yes, I do.
You can't even chew gum and walk.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, I've got my bag of drones and I'm out in the glorious Wiltshire countryside. So let's find out, going from the Mini 3 Pro up to the Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3, what it's like to own and use them. Okay, so starting with the Mini 3 Pro, this is the ideal beginner's drone, but is very, very capable. Now I'm going to do some flying along and take a shot for comparison.
Now I'm going to fly along and take a shot for comparison.
So I'm recording all of these videos in the normal profile today because different drones do have slightly different capabilities in terms of D-Cine-like, HLG and D-Log-M.
Those are the modes that more advanced photographers and videographers use, and they produce a flatter colour profile, more detail and a higher dynamic range. It also gives you a lot more colours, so billions of colours rather than millions of colours to work with.
So that we can have a good comparison, we're going to do everything in the native, normal mode. So the Mini 3 Pro, it is an ideal starter drone. It has forward-facing obstacle avoidance, rear-facing obstacle avoidance, and down-facing obstacle avoidance, which is great. The only thing it doesn't have is sideways avoidance, which can be a little bit tricky if you're doing any tracking shots. The camera is
Okay, good thing we had some footage to actually show what a tracking shot looks like, wasn't it? Anyway, camera specs for the Mini 3 Pro. I'm just going to do all of this off the top of my head, of course. The Mini 3 Pro has a fixed 1.7 aperture, a 1/1/3 inch sensor with 12.1 megapixels for video, and you can shoot up to 48 megapixels for stills as well. So that's really useful if you want to crop in on that image. Basically, it's the equivalent of a 24mm camera lens. Video can be taken in 4K up to 60 frames per second and 1080p up to 120 frames per second. And the camera can physically rotate as well, so you can capture vertical shots, and you can do that in 4K. I believe that the TikTokers and grammars prefer to do it in 1080p. One thing to bear in mind with a fixed 1.7 aperture is that you might need to use ND filters, that's neutral density filters, which just clip onto the lens. These act as sunglasses for the drone and can just help with more natural movement in your footage because they just let a little less light into the camera so you can slow your shutter speed down.
So it's a very capable little drone and definitely brilliant for someone who wants to start off but doesn't want to spend too much money. Ideally, you'd be using it for the odd holiday snap, holiday video. It's very, very portable and something that can basically just fit in a pocket and you can carry around. It's not that difficult. Let's move over to the Mini 4 Pro now. Now this is an upgrade to the Mini 3 Pro. As you can see here, it has these sensors which offer 360-degree obstacle avoidance. That is brilliant because if you're doing any tracking shots where the drone is flying sideways, that means it's going to see anything that's coming up in its path and avoid it.
Come on, no one wants to see your ugly mug. Everyone wants to see the drone, not your face. flan.
So one of the upgrades over the Mini 3 Pro with the Mini 4 Pro is, besides some excellent cinematic film modes, we've also got the 360-degree obstacle avoidance and Activetrack and Activeshots features, which are also upgraded. With the Mini 3 Pro, you could track from behind, track from the side, although that could be a bit of an issue without sideways obstacle avoidance.
Okay, so he stopped mid-sentence, and that's not unusual, but he was a little distracted, and you'll find out why in a second.
And I've just got a plane coming, so I better just come down a little bit. Hello.
Hello.
Just wait for this plane to pass and use up my battery. Now, talking of batteries, with both the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, they both have similar battery life. Now, the stated battery life is about 32, 34 minutes or so. That's in lab conditions, and if you actually go on the DJI website, they have got a disclaimer there saying it's on a windless day, it's with various different things switched off. So it's kind of the absolute maximum you could get out of the battery. In real life conditions, with the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, you're talking about 20 to 25 minutes worth of flight, depending on how windy it is. It's quite a windless day today, so it's not going to use up as much battery as if the drone was actually fighting against the wind and having to correct all of the time. It also depends on what features you're using on the drone as well. So if you're filming in 4K and using Activetrack or Activeshots, then that's going to take up more of the battery as well. Both of the drones, Mini 4 Pro, Mini 3 Pro, have both got very similar battery life. The Mini 4 Pro is rated to be just a couple of minutes less, but that's probably because there's much more going on technology-wise. Amok time in the studio. Tell them about the technology in the Mini 4 Pro now. I'm going to fly over those trees again.
Okay, you have fun then. Leave the tricky stuff to me. So, the Mini 4 Pro's camera is very similar to the Mini 3 Pro. It's an f1.7 aperture, it's a 1/1/3 sensor, but one of the main differences is that it is a stacked sensor. Now, this means that there is more sensor that is exposed to the light, which means that effectively you should get more detail in your image. However, in a lot of tests that I've seen, it is very difficult to discern the difference. The other things that the Mini 4 Pro offers are cruise control, which we'll come on to in a bit, and we've also got Activeshots and Activetrack, which are a big upgrade, as mentioned already. We've also got waypoints. Now, this is quite a cool little tool where you can program in a route and save it, and then refly that route again and again, so you can use that at different times of the day or even during different seasons.
Now, one of the key features that is different with the Mini 4 Pro is that you can see on my screen here this little H, which says where the home point is. When we hit return to home, it creates a little AR path towards us. Now, return to home is on the Mini 3 Pro as well, and it's a great little safety feature. If the battery is getting critically low, or you just need the drone to come back in a hurry, it'll come back along this path. Now, you won't see this path on the Mini 3 Pro. This is only on the Mini 4 Pro with the DJI RC2. Amok time in the studio. Can you tell them about the differences between the RC2 and the RC1?
I don't get a quiet life, do I? Right, this is the RC1, and this comes with the Mini 3 Pro, and this is the RC2. This comes with the Mini 4 Pro and with the Air 3, which we'll see later on. Now, the major difference here is that there's been a firmware and software upgrade inside, which makes this run a lot faster than the RC1. The RC1 is quite sluggish and quite slow to respond to input. Now, that's not the same with the controls. I'm just talking about the main screen and the software inside it. The RC2 also has 4 antennas, so you've got these 2 external antennas here. We've got 2 antennas in here as well, and that is to facilitate OcuSync 4. And this with OcuSync 4 provides a much stronger, more solid signal. And in territories where you're allowed to fly beyond visual line of sight, you can fly for quite a long way before losing any signal. I'm sure you've probably seen some of those videos that a lot of us in the UK are very jealous of. One of the reasons the RC2 is so much faster than the RC1 is that it actually has active cooling. So there is a fan in here, so not just this heatsink, but there's a fan as well, which once it gets quite warm, you'll hear that actually kick in and start blowing. It's not very loud, but it's a definite upgrade.
One of the features that is on the Mini 4 Pro that isn't on the Mini 3 Pro is the Activeshots. Now, on my screen here, you can see down in the bottom left-hand side a little dial. And what you can do is you can say, I want the drone to go over here, and hopefully, yes, we won't crash into any twiggy branches. Now, I think I might take a little walk. And we need to be careful of wires and trees and things, but what I'll do is, you've seen this before, but it's good fun. I'm going to stick the drone round in front of me. And it follows. Now, the Mini 3 Pro can't follow and move backwards at the same time. So this is one of the great things about the Mini 4 Pro, is that you can get it right in front of you. And it just follows you, and you can carry on talking like this. There's a branch there, let's see what happens. It's already detected it, which is great. And so it's just following me, and I can talk to you. And there we go. I've just realised I've left my camera back there. Better go back. Oh! Holy shit! Wow! I forgot that might happen. Well done, Mini 4 Pro. Mini 3 Pro would have definitely that up.
Why is he constantly surprised by that? It's a good thing we bleeped out that swearing.
Right, come back here. Come back here. Thank you. Right.
Don't worry, it's just an illusion. It's not voice controlled yet.
Not yet, anyway.
Let's just bring the camera over.
I don't know if you noticed there, but there's that ring that goes round on the screen, and it goes red when it gets near to something when an incompetent pilot is flying it. We've seen a lot of red today, haven't we, Amok?
Right, one thing we have got on the Mini 4 Pro, which isn't on the Mini 3 Pro, is a light. Switch that on here, and you can see a light up there, hopefully, which can be used for landing in the dark.
Of course, it's also useful for night flights, for actually locating your drone in the sky as well.
Let's switch that light off.
And thinking of that, one thing I forgot to mention is that with that stacked sensor, night mode, which is on the Mini 4 Pro, is absolutely brilliant as well. I've got a video coming up with that soon. Okay, while we're watching this, let's just have a little talk about the Fly More combo. Now, there are Fly More combos available for both the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro. There's also a Fly More combo for the Air 3 as well. They consist of, well, very obviously the drone, but also a couple of spare batteries and a battery charging hub. And obviously you get all the associated cables that go with it. Also coming in those Fly More combos, you get a bag, which is useless. I would honestly say, if you can't afford the Mini 4 Pro Fly More combo, don't get the Mini 4 Pro on its own, because you'll just be frustrated. Get the Mini 3 Pro Fly More combo instead, and you'll be very happy.
I'm getting towards 1,000 subscribers, and I really enjoy making these videos. I enjoy the comments and the feedback that I get. It would be brilliant if you guys could help me get up to 1,000 subscribers. It will really help out the channel. It'll get these videos out to more people, and it'll enable me to make even more content.
And thank you so much to those people that have already subscribed. You are all awesome.
So the big brother of the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro is the DJI Air 3. Now this has very similar capabilities to the Mini 4 Pro, but there's a couple of added advantages that you have with it. There are also one or two disadvantages.
Yeah, one of them might be the price. And it's also not quite as portable. Did you know you almost lost your hat in that shot?
So the Air 3 is bigger and badder, and it can handle wind really well. Now, it is getting a slightly bit more breezy here, but well, we can see if I put the camera on the Air 3.
Oh, good Lord. You should see him trying to use an iPhone. Who lets him play with this stuff?
Find it. There it is. Just making a few micro adjustments, but dealing very, very well with the wind. So, what can I say about the Air 3?
I don't know. Enlighten us and perhaps put some big pauses in whilst you're concentrating on flying.
Well, one of the major differences with the Air 3 is that besides the same sensor and wide-angle camera that the DJI Mini 4 Pro has, we've also got a 3x optical zoom, which is really good, because one of the disadvantages with the Air 3 is that there are a lot more restrictions that come along with it, having to be at least 50 meters away from people and buildings, and that's horizontal distance. And that's with an A2 CFC qualification.
The A2 CFC is a UK qualification. Have a check with your local territory's rules and regulations.
If you don't have that qualification, then that distance goes out to a massive 150 meters. If you're in the countryside like I am, and there's not many buildings and people about, then actually that's not too bad at all.
Isn't that a building down there, Amok? 50 meters?
But you do just need to bear that in mind. So what I'll do here, just to demonstrate that, is I'm going to switch from the normal wide-angle camera to the zoom. Now, unfortunately, you do have to stop filming when you do this. So I'm going to stop filming. I'm going to switch to the 3x camera. There we go. So
guess who forgot to press record?
You can see me now a lot better. One of the best things about this, though, is the parallax effect. So when you're zoomed in with that 3x zoom and focused on an object, you get the parallax effect when you do this.
In basic terms, again, the parallax effect pulls the background towards the image and enlarges it, so it looks like the background is moving a lot faster than it actually is. You see it a lot in movies and stuff. Not quite sure what he was trying to do here. Is this meant to be an example of parallax? You're an absolute quiche, aren't you? I don't know how this is meant to explain it. It's a good thing we had that other footage. Nice mound, by the way. Good shot.
With both the Air 3 and the DJI Mini 4 Pro, we have cruise control. So this is where you can set the aircraft flying in a certain direction, press a button, and that will actually keep it going in that direction without you having to have your hands on the controller.
Cool story, bro. Mind if I take over? Right, okay, with cruise control, it's really, really cool. You don't just head it off in one straight direction. You can be going on a curve and you press that cruise control button and the aircraft will carry on in that curved direction, or going up or going down. Obviously, if you're going up, it will top out at 400 feet or 120 meters. Anyway, back to this Muppet.
Of course, with this being a larger drone, one of the best things about this is that it has a massive battery, so you get a lot more flight time. Now, DJI say this is about 45 to 47 minutes in my experience. In these sorts of conditions, you're talking about 40 minutes or so.
So of course the Air 3 does come as a Fly More combo as well. It has a slightly better bag, but this is a bit of a faff. The battery bay is brilliant. You can place all 3 batteries in, and if you've got 1 battery that is almost but not quite topped up and 2 that are half used, if you press this button on here, it will charge the battery that has the most charge in it up to full strength.
Well, I've been blatting this around for quite a while now, and I've still got 25 minutes worth of battery left.
Don't worry, he's not going to be waffling on for another 25 minutes.
So what are my conclusions on these drones? Well, Mini 3 Pro, as I've said, great starter drone if you're not planning on spending too much money. And if you're going to be using it occasionally, it's absolutely capable. Just because I'm saying it's a starter drone doesn't mean that it's not brilliant. It is, it's brilliant. If you're going to be doing things a little bit more often and you want to do them closer to people and to buildings, but you want a slightly upgraded camera system, then yes, DJI Mini 4 Pro definitely. It's got a bunch of extra features on it as well, so it's a definite really good upgrade. And then if you're going all out for it and you want all of those extra features, then the Air 3. I'm going to have to move now because there's a horse coming.
Oh, how considerate. At least you stopped yourself from saying what a nice guy you are again.
And so if you're going to be slightly more serious about what you're doing, then you may want to get the Air 3. It is brilliant in moderate winds, whereas the Mini drones struggle a little bit. It's got all of those extra features that the Mini 4 Pro has, but it's also got that 3x optical zoom as well. So, if I was to choose, if I was to go back in time to last year, when I bought the Air 3, and then the Mini 4 Pro came out, I think I'd have gone for the Mini 4 Pro. But I do love my Air 3. Bye for now. Happy flying.
So I hope you didn't have your lunch in there.
I haven't got room for my lunch in there, unfortunately.
That's what she said.